Welcome to 2025, where common sense may just be your buzzkill. This time we're going to take a look at DOGE and see how transparent they actually are. DOGE.Gov. Click. So they post here every day. You don't even have to go to X. They'll just post it here on the webpage. So you can take a look around at all of these statistics every day, keep track of them if you want to. While this is playing in the background, we're going to listen to Sean Parnell from the Department of Defense describe a few things.
So we promised you transparency at this Department of Defense, and America, that is exactly what you're going to get because you deserve it. So at the DOD, we've been working hand in hand with the DOGE team. And as the secretary said, we welcome that process because that process will make us more lethal. And that means that our warfighters on the battlefield will be more successful. And that's what this process is all about. So in the interest of transparency, look at some of the initial things that we found in the Air Force. $1.9 million for holistic DEI transformation and training. $6 million to the University of Montana to strengthen American democracy by bridging divides. At the Defense Human Resources Activity, $3.5 million for support to DEI groups. And how about this one? $1.6 million to the University of Florida to study social and institutional detriments of vulnerability and resilience to climate hazards in African Sahel. You see, folks, this stuff is not a core function of our military. This is not what we do. This is a distraction from our core mission. So we believe that these initial findings will probably save $80 million in wasteful spending. Again, $80 million in wasteful spending just right here. So stay tuned. Today's actions are just the start. More to come this week. Again, we are working hand in glove with DOGE. So stay tuned in the weeks ahead as we trim the fat, preserve the muscle, make the DOD more mission capable and more lethal.
And I guess that's what they're for, right? All right, as we continue to scroll the DOGE report, let's take a listen to the new spokesperson for the Department of State, Tammy Bruce, answer a few questions on DOGE.
President Trump was elected to change the status quo. Part of what has initiated this dynamic that we've all watched play out is what's it been? I think it's been 6 weeks, is an effort to deal with waste, fraud, and abuse. This began with a simple inquiry of USAID to look at their books, to look and inquire, and they refused. They said, we're an autonomous organization, you have no right to come in. The intention was not to do it in a manner that you've been watching unfold. It began because there was no cooperation at the beginning. And the inquiry, of course, was because of the debt, the nature of being $2 trillion, that it was an unsustainable and remains an unsustainable way of running anything, a household or a government. There's a point where you have to look up and say, we need to see at least what's happening. So this has been a pause, a 90-day pause, we shouldn't forget that, to look at the nature of how the taxpayer money has been spent and if it was being used in the proper way for the things that we've allotted it for. And that began. It was certainly in a manner that was not planned on, but we needed to do it. It was something that was, of course, important to accomplish the nature of dealing with, is there fraud, is there abuse, is there waste, how can we fix the system so that taxpayer dollars are being used properly? And in the process, of course, we've looked through some of these issues. You heard at the joint session of Congress addressed by the president, some of the remarkable programs that we were paying for around the world, millions of dollars, and clearly change has had to be made, and that's what we're doing right now. There's change not only when it comes to what's being funded, but also how the bureaucracy works, and if a bureaucracy the size that it was needed to exist in the way that it exists. All of this review is important. At the same time, within a review like this, because you're looking at whether or not there's an efficiency in the way money is spent, it doesn't mean that we're not going to be doing foreign aid. It's a matter of how are we going to be doing the aid, and if it is effective, and if it is efficient, and if it achieves the goals that we want that make America safe, more prosperous, more secure, and there's nothing that's deviated from that.
Edson with Fox News.
That's right.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tammy, on this USAID investigation, Peter Morocco has been on Capitol Hill over the past couple of days, briefing members of Congress and updating them on this, where he told them that they have uncovered waste, fraud, and abuse to a level that would require referrals to the Department of Justice for investigation. Can you provide any specific examples of illegal wrongdoing, or what the department believes is illegal wrongdoing at USAID?
Well, obviously, and this is my first chance to say of what I can't comment on, which is, in general, certainly any possible litigation, the nature of negotiations or contemplations regarding action that the government might take, certainly not only because I've not been in the room, but it's because you've got, whether it's diplomatic conversations or issues of determining what we might do and what might not do. It also goes into hypotheticals. So no, I can't answer that. What I can say, again, is that the level of what we've discovered at USAID is troubling enough to where this is the kind of conversation that is perhaps going to have to be had by the American people and even perhaps Congress. But I think at this point, when we're looking at this kind of an issue that we see through our existing investigations and inquiries, that we've clearly got some problems. And so we're determined to correct those problems. Where it ends up is going to be, of course, something we'll see in the future, but that's not something I've been involved in.
So a conversation with the American people in Congress, how about with the Department of Justice?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. But it is, the seriousness with which this is being addressed is something the American people should be happy about. It is why President Trump was elected, was to take action on the things that he campaigned on, as many people did as well. We knew something was wrong and it had to change. And this is up to, of course, to the people who are doing the investigations, whether or not any of that actually manifests.
Just listen to one of my colleagues talk about Medicaid. The truth is, for people watching at home, your Medicaid benefits cannot get cut unless the governor of your state and the state cuts your benefits. That's the real truth. Republicans here in Washington, here in Congress, we are not taking away anyone's Medicaid benefits. As a matter of fact, we're trying to cut out improper payments. We're trying to cut out fraud.
Welcome to 2025, where common sense may just be your buzzkill.